Hello, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to save you some time and money and give you like a free little reading here. Everybody wants a relationship. Everywhere you look, there's a new dating app, there's a new something that somebody wants. You know, we've got to have the best guy, the best girl, whatever. But if your pattern that you're running isn't healthy, then it's never going to work. Okay, so people want money and relationships, number one thing. So, were you raised in a home that was loving and supportive? Or were you raised in a hostile environment where, even though you were loved, they didn't know how to love themselves? Maybe your parents, your grandparents, maybe they ran, maybe they were always worried about money, maybe there was fear, there was stress, there was work problems, there were all these things that got deflected onto you as a child. So then all of a sudden you're in this relationship, or you got this great person that you want to meet, or you found online, or whatever. I don't know. But that is the one thing that I find with people, is that they never ever look in that part of themselves that is wounded. Or maybe you were the perfect child, and you were given really high expectations. So were you criticized? Were you supported? Were you loved? Was there a foundation of love everywhere you went and support? However that is, the minute you open your heart to somebody, all those patterns are going to come out. So, and you're unaware of it. So you could be really in love with somebody, but then you're going to sabotage it because maybe you didn't feel that you received enough love as a child, or maybe these are the programmings that popped up in this other person. Maybe it's a mirror image, but however you were raised, and I know people think this isn't right or whatever, it is. How we're loved and how we're treated when we're young and vulnerable creates a level of, it's a pattern, and it's our survival. This is our survival. How are we going to be treated? How are we going to be loved? How are we going to be protected? Are our needs being met? Do we have safety, security, food, water, shelter? These are the primal needs that come in. But then when you open your heart, it's like this whole other level that sneaks in and doesn't support what you want. And you can't understand it. Your mind is in this steel trap of playing this program from your childhood that isn't even yours. Or maybe you felt like you had to protect your parents, or your mother, or your father, or your sister, or your brother, and then you become this like super overbearing, controlling person because you feel this is the way you love. Well, if you're raised in a house where you're yelled and screamed at and criticized your whole life, then when you're in a relationship, you're going to yell and scream and criticize, and you're not even going to know why you're doing it. So, deep things the people don't want to see. So they'll pay for a reading, and then they're not happy because they just want the fairy tale. Well, you can have the fairy tale, but you just have to say, oh, okay, hey, I see this, but this isn't mine. So, hey, this is what my parents did, this is what my grandparents did, this is what my aunt and uncle did, or wherever maybe you were adopted. But these are all patterns that were programmed into you at a very early age. And you don't have a conscious memory of it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if you find yourself being very critical or angry, or just not being connected, or maybe being too supportive and too involved and too protective and all these things, you just look back to how the story played out when you were a kid. You know, I might have just saved you some money, but it just seems like a constant thing that comes up for a lot of my clients, and I thought I would share this, because when you're aware of it, then you can fix it, and then you can have the fairy tale. Okay? HeatherKalea.com. Hope to hear from you soon.